departure.
SportCruiser 427 Romeo, Santa Monica Tower, lockdown departure, approved runway 3, set to take off. Traffic on 8 miles straight in over downtown is A0.
We'll look for traffic over downtown, runway 3, clear for takeoff, 47 Romeo.
Cool. 2 Pop, squad 0253.
Alright, so RV in, flap set, fuel pump on, landing light on. This is set, and somebody's way out there.
Yep.
So we gotta go.
Cool. Good.
That's a nice blue sky view over there.
Yeah.
Not so much behind us.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, expect a longer ground roll.
All right, feet on the floor, full power, right rudder. What is it going over there? Right rudder.
Not there yet. Don't
there
rotate
yet.
early. There you go.
Over
Now
50.
you go.
And
Notice how much faster the ground roll is in order to I mean, the ground speed on that roll is, how much longer it takes than what you're used to.
That's right.
That's the tailwind takeoff for you.
Cheers, 2 Sierra Charlie, traffic's over the 2-1 numbers now, should be no factor for you, only 2-1
All right, clear the runway, flaps up.
Okay.
Santa Monica helicopter 35.
How about the down, start turning a little left?
Yes. Give yourself a little bit of space.
Welcome to 355 Juliet Sierra, Santa Monica Tower, proceed to the business park, hold down 900.
Get yourself to like at least 700 feet or so before you start that turn. Typically, we don't want to. We want to just continue upwind to like at least 700 AGL until before we make a turn. Unless we've requested something otherwise, or unless the tower tells us otherwise.
All right.
Cool. Now I'd say you can go ahead and make your turn. Yeah. Cool. And as we come around here, we're going to be looking at those clouds, trying to figure out exactly how high we think they are and how much clearance and space we think we need.
So does the visibility suck, or does we have a dirty windshield?
No, the visibility definitely sucks a little bit. We also have that sun glaring off of the moisture from these clouds, and we have a dirty windshield.
All right, 67 knots, 1150, and there's traffic on the 405. Let's track after 427 Romeo. We're going to traffic on the southbound 405. Although it looks like we're going to clear up right after the 10. That's my impression. All right. Traffic spotted ahead.
Okay. Keep an eye on him.
Looks like a helicopter.
November 5 Juliet Sierra, no lower than your current altitude for traffic 11 o'clock at a mile, 1,400 indicated as SportCruiser. Look up for the traffic, 5 Juliet Sierra.
Is that him?
SportCruiser 27 Romeo, 10 degrees right, please, for traffic.
10 degrees right for traffic, 427 Romeo, traffic in sight.
27 Romeo, resume on navigation. 5 Juliet Sierra, we've got that traffic in sight. 5 Juliet Sierra, continue the descent. 5 Juliet Sierra. SportCruiser 22 Papa, correction of
All right. What do you think? You think you can make your turn on course?
125.2.
How does it look 1,000 feet? Are we above it, 1,000?
Probably not 1,000 feet above it, but I think by the time we get there, we'll be 1,000 feet above it. Looks like those clouds are probably about 100 feet thick, right? Not that thick.
Make a tight right turn around the tower, maintain visual separation with the landing Cirrus runway 21.
So I would guess that the tops are probably 2,200 then, give or take.
Tight right turn around the tower, 21, clear to land number 2.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 1,200. So 2,200 would put us 1,000 feet above the tops.
All right, so we're dropping the noses to 75.
Close this thing just because.
I think I was the one that picked the right attire.
Did pick the right what? Yeah, I think you did.
Attire.
It's warm. It's like quite warm.
Yeah. I've only felt cold here once. That was a morning flight.
Yeah, you rarely feel cold when you're flying a plane, I've found. I did a flight through Arizona, 9,500 feet, and that was That was cold. Cabin heater going.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so this is going to be a little bit hard to spot our reference point over here.
Yeah, so you've got to use your other form of navigating, right? Which is...
We're supposed to be at 258.
Okay, cool. So we got to kind of re-intercept your flight plan. So you're going to have to kind of estimate it, since you're at a slightly different takeoff than what you were used to. You could potentially have flown sort of back over top the airport to try and intercept your flight plan, but that's probably a little bit ridiculous, because you know how you can intercept your flight plan here, you know, visually. But you're going to have to kind of do some sort of hybrid today where you're going to estimate where you are, and you're going to use pilotage and dead reckoning to fly your flight plan based on the times, distances, and headings that you calculated.
How do you feel about what we're seeing from coming home?
Yeah, probably not great, to be honest, but, you know, I think we're in it now. Looks like it might clear up, you never know. Cool, so let's...
Santa Monica Tower, Sirius 1408 with the...
Looks like we do have a clearing at the Malibu Pier.
Cool, so why don't you try and do that?
Information, Bravo, looking at descend and then land. Number 140 with you, Santa Monica Tower, make right traffic, runway 21.
So you can kind of use your pilotage to find that pier and intercept your flight plan. And then, of course, we have the timer as well.
Contact SoCal departure 125.2.
Contact SoCal departure 125.2, 47 Romeo. SoCal, this is SportCruiser 427 Romeo at 3,400, climbing to 4,500.
427 Romeo, SoCal approach, ident.
Ident, 47 Romeo.
427 Romeo, your radar contact 3.5 miles west of Santa Monica. Altitude indicates 3,500. Maintain VFR and the LA altimeter 29er79er.
Maintain VFR, altimeter 29er79er, 47 Romeo.
All right, cool. So why don't you try and turn us on course towards your reference point, or towards your...
Yeah. Wind up here. You see the pier? Cool. Right there. Still trying to climb though.
Good.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, huh? It's clear over the ocean there. So hopefully it'll blow through and then we'll be all right.
Yeah, you never know.
You really don't.
You really, really don't.
We try, we have so much technology, but still in 2021, it's a crapshoot.
So you have a timer in here, which is... here. So here is the time that we've been running, so you can use this to judge your
Start, okay.
yep, to judge those legs.
That's nice.
Yep.
Alright. Okay, we're nice and clear. Let's see what's looking down there. Okay, almost to the Now, as we look over that bridge, we're going to fly just to the left.
2132, 1.5 for 5,000.
Just to the right of it.
Alright,
Sorry.
2132, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb via the summer 2 departure.
Number 2, Russian 2132, thanks.
Yep, and then that's going to be on a heading of 250. 277, Mount Pier to Channel Islands. Alright, we're just about at our altitude, and we're just about... Oh, there it is. Okay. Just about to our pier.
Cool.
And there's our altitude. And I think, yeah, we're just about there. I would usually fly a little bit south of it to see it better.
Yeah, so you chose a bunch of points that are actually off the right of the plane, and I didn't say anything to you because I wanted to illustrate this point.
I'm going left to go right.
It's not great, right, to choose points that are off of the right side of the plane. You're better off choosing something that's off of your side of the plane so that you can actually see it.
All right, there it is.
Yeah, there you go. So where are we going?
I'm just waiting just another second. Okay, right here is good.
Cool.
We're going to 277. I'm used to seeing, and then we're going to start our timer right there.
Cool.
We need to definitely hold our altitude up here. All right. We can do a cruise checklist.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, we're between 4,400 and 5,000. We need to go a little bit this way, actually. 277. There it is.
Cool.
All right. I've been trimming the whole time.
Great.
Fuel pump, we're gonna turn it. Leave it on.
I just leave it on all the time.
Leave it on all the time. Temperatures and pressures monitor.
Good.
So, we're looking at all greens around here.
Cool.
We will change our fuel tank soon.
Alright, 321.
Yeah, we can.
Contact LA Center.
I usually would change it about every hour, so I would say what you can do is you keep an eye on it, but for this flight, you can change it when we get to Santa Barbara, and then change it, you know, basically, and that's because that's kind of an hour in.
All right, we're looking for 13 minutes and 28 seconds.
Cool, so your timer's actually counting down right now.
What?
So, yeah, because it's set to down. So if you go up and then it's set, then you can hit start. So now it's here and it's counting up for you.
What did it say before?
It was like 2 hours and 30 minutes counting down. So that's okay. We're kind of just over the pier now, so should be pretty close.
All right. Yeah, let's get back to our heading.
Cool. The best way to do this is to get yourself set up on the heading that you want, and then choose a visual reference out the window that is that heading, and then just fly off of that. Because if you sit here and you just make adjustments on this thing, you'll be staring at the instruments all day long, just going back and forth, and it'll never work out. The easiest thing, just look out the window. Doesn't have to be perfect. Get it in the ballpark, and you'll be okay. So you see here how we're kind of flying over this mountain range for like a long ways, and we're just going to be, you know, over top of these mountains for a while. It's okay. It's not ideal, but we're at a fairly high altitude, so I'm not too worried about it. But you kind of see the point of what I was getting at.
Sure do. But you know, only can be, I guess, illustrated through practice.
Yeah. Cool. Nice work. It's beautiful out here.
We're doing okay.
Yeah.
Airport 27 Romeo, VFR traffic 10 to 11 o'clock and 3 miles maneuvering at 4,000 to Skyhawk.
Looking for traffic, 47 Romeo.
All right, so we got 11 o'clock, 4,000 over there maneuvering.
3 miles east northeast of your position, heading westbound, light sport 4,500.
Looking for traffic, 22 Papa.
That's that Skyhawk that took off before us.
Okay. He's probably not over the peaks of these.
Yeah, he's somewhere over there, about 500 feet below us.
Totally get what you were saying. Not the best feeling.
Yeah, right? It's actually like one of those things that's like on paper, you're kind of like, oh yeah, this looks great. And then you get out there and you're like, wow, this doesn't feel great, you know?
Look, on paper, it looked really good.
Yeah.
Up here, not so
Yeah.
fun.
Good.
How's our fuel PSI? You said we're as long as we're there.
Yeah, we're okay. This is pretty normal here.
Getting a little out of altitude. We're gonna try to get back to it.
Cool.
276 is not bad.
I got that aircraft in sight over there.
You see it?
Yep. He's sort of just, see him? Yep.
Traffic spotted. Been having a lot of issues with my GoPro lately.
Yeah?
It craps out on me. We've had that before too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of problems with that.
But so far so good.
Good.
And I'm glad that noise cleared up. That was...
Air 427 Romeo, that traffic passing off the west side, no factor.
Traffic inside, no factor, 427 Romeo.
22 Papa, traffic passed off the north side, no factor.
Traffic no factor, 22 Papa, thanks.
All right, we're sitting up here at 4,900 RPM.
Cool.
How's our consumption?
Yeah, so it's a little bit bopping all over the place here, but saying between 8 and 9 gallons, which doesn't really make sense given that it said 12 before. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. If it starts to get too low, we'll just go over to the right tank. How's that sound to you?
Sounds good, and I don't really want to switch tanks right now.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment. I kind of like that
Once
decision
we're clear
making.
of this ridge,
Yeah.
go ahead and switch it if we want.
Yeah, I think that's
And then if that gets low, we can switch back.
Yeah, I think that's good decision making. If you lost your engine right now, where would you go? What would you do?
Oh, I would try to go back that way.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
Turning
towards the lowering terrain.
There's a runway we talked about before, the field next to the lake there.
Yep.
It's kind of far, but we're at 4,500 feet.
Yeah.
How would you say that looks?
I would probably turn to the left. I think that you're closer to the coastline. You're going to have more. It's going to give you more options. You have more terrain in this direction. I do think that you could make the point that you're talking about over there, but I think that turning to the left feels a lot more comfortable because you've got the beach and you're more familiar with it.
3700, so kind of approach radar contact, climb.
There will be a certain point here though where kind of will make more sense to turn to the right because we'll be kind of closer to the right side of the mountains.
Yeah, so right now I was thinking what did I say our ground speed was going to be? Now we're here to CSI 86. We're at 94.
94. So the wind has changed a little bit, huh?
It has. It's going to change our timing a bit.
Yep. This is sort of just kind of the nature of doing these sort of flight plans, is that you try and do it as close to the time you're going to fly as possible, but things change, you know?
I don't think this is doing much worse.
Yeah.
Might as well help the viewers at home.
So you just don't really know necessarily what it's going to be.
Yeah, you're interpolating anyway, right?
Exactly. So that's why it's sort of a combination of multiple forms of navigation, right? We're using our headings, times, but we're also using landmarks and visual references to help us navigate.
478 Heavy, affirmative, climb and maintain 8,000.
All right, what would you do now if you lost your engine?
Well, seems like we have some bridges over there.
Yeah.
And that looks much better.
Yeah.
I think we can make that field, perhaps.
I agree.
Or get close enough.
Yep.
To land in some other things near it.
I agree. You've also got a golf course between you and that field, which would be nice. So yeah, good decision making there.
All right.
427 Romeo, contact point Ladue approach 128.65. So long.
Contact point for 128.65. 427 Romeo, so long.
Thanks.
Before we go, this is SportCruiser 427 Romeo at 4,500.
Number 427 Romeo, Magoo approach, altimeter 2979.
2979 there, 427 Romeo. Alright, pretty seamless transition there.
Good.
Look how clear it is. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
Now, my point is, I think just below the nose.
Okay. You might want to try and put it a little bit to the right of yourself for this one. You know, try and, rather than flying maybe directly over top of it, try and just position yourself a little to the right of it so that you can see it better.
Yep. And then we have the 101's over there.
Cool.
It's always off our right. Now, we're getting close to passing the highest terrain.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but...
No, we're not. And that terrain is 2,824.
Okay, good.
And we're at 4,500.
Okay.
So we have almost a couple thousand feet between us.
Good.
But still, it doesn't feel as good.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Yeah.
I'd like to be a couple thousand feet higher, to be honest.
So you can go here and you can see this, we got this terrain overlay on here. So this is the terrain page. And you can see that anything that's red is less than 100 feet below the aircraft, and anything that's yellow is less than 1,000 feet below the aircraft. And there's nothing in front of us right here, so we're more than 1,000 feet.
Where's that red and yellow?
That's those mountains out over there.
Ah,
it's a little
zoomed out.
Yeah, it's very zoomed out. So you can see like Santa Barbara is right here on this map. So.
All right, I think that is okay. I recognize that from Google Earth. There's a little hill over there.
Okay, cool.
And that's where we're going to fly over, and then we're going to head over there where I can kind of see Ventura outcropping already.
All right, cool. So keep maneuvering yourself towards that. You can make little adjustments as needed to sort of put yourself over your landmark, or over your reference point or your landmark, or just a little off to the right of it.
And this is what, Saddle Peak?
It's like Strawberry Ridge or something like that. I don't know exactly what
Pretty,
it's called.
not much down.
Maybe it is Saddle Peak, something like that. I've hiked it once before.
Oh, really?
It is pretty, yeah. I don't remember what it's called.
Now we're at 7.
Yeah, I think this gauge is just kind of unreliable. This is why we always look into the tanks, honestly.
Oh, that tank looked full.
Yeah, sure did.
And we don't consume that much.
Yeah.
So, we're okay. All right, so I'm venturing off a little to the south so that I can come back. Okay, cool. So that's, you see that bump right there?
Uh-huh.
That right next to it is a Channel Islands University.
Okay.
So that's what we should pass over.
Okay, cool. There's no need to necessarily turn south. You could turn to the right if you want to see it better. That's fine. You can put yourself a little, put it on your right side and then...
But now I know, I can also see the next point in front of us.
Good. So when you get over it, then you'll kind of reset your timer and such and take a new heading and we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, we're at a timer of almost 10 minutes.
Cool. What did you say it was going to be, like 13 or something?
Yeah, but our ground speed's a lot faster.
A lot faster, yeah.
That's going to be good for our return time.
Yep. Well, we kind of have the tailwind, right?
Oh, right. So
we're gonna lose it on the, yeah, exactly.
I really do want to see Channel Islands University, so I'm going to go left.
Hang on, now this is saying level the wings for me. All right, hang on, let's go to the right tank here. This is saying 2 gallons. I think the gauge is just broken, but in case we got a fuel leak or something on that wing, we're gonna go to the right tank here.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's weird. That is really weird. I guess we'll see when we land, but.
Oh, look, now it's back.
Yeah, it's definitely all over the place.
All right, we're still okay. We're 4,030.
All right, so where's Channel Islands?
It's right there.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, cool.
We did it.
I don't quite understand why you're sort of maneuvering all over the place, though.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it if I'm flying over it.
I think the better thing to do is just turn so that it's going to be on your side. Don't try and make it harder on yourself, Just put it so it's, like if we were flying a little bit that way right now, to the right, then you would be able to see it better.
Yeah.
It would just be coming up on your side rather than up on my side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
November 4 Golf Foxtrot, contact Santa Barbara approach 125.4.
Okay, I restarted the timer.
Cool, sounds good.
We're now heading to the 101.33 interchange, which is essentially where that outcropping is.
Okay, cool.
That's in Ventura.
All right, sounds good.
I'm actually going to stay, if you look here, we're actually should be right off the, it should be easily seen off the right wing. We're not passing over it.
Okay.
So the next point, and let's keep it level. Okay, so from here to there, it should only be about 10 minutes.
Okay.
At 277.
Okay, cool.
Or 273. You see that water bottle behind you?
Yeah, I can grab that for you. Oh, we never activated our flight plan. Oh well. That's okay.
It's not there, huh? In the backpack or next to it?
Yeah, there it is.
Sweet. All right. 277. Water bottle success. Got about 10 minutes looking on Amazon. As I was watching back our last lesson doing the S-turns, I think I mentioned it right before we got over Point Doom. That's when I paused the video and just ordered it right there. Amazon. By the way, my viewers like you a lot more than me.
What is that?
It seems like the videos with a lesson, a lot more, like 40, 50 views. Just me by myself, 4 or 5.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who is watching these videos?
Well, I'll probably count the 4 or 5. So there's like a couple friends, my mom, and this cool guy online named Peter Allen who likes to give tips
Okay.
in the comments. The rest, I don't know.
Gotcha.
People have started to subscribe, but it's
Nice.
leveled off. The subscription
Yeah.
acceleration rate. Okay, so the Channel Islands are out there, looking good. What's that power plant down there, you know?
No idea. No clue.
Wow, ground speed, real fast. 104.
Yeah.
So our timer is going to be a lot different.
Yeah. Our RPM is probably a little higher than like sort of what we would flight plan for, right? Probably more like there is what we flight plan for, but still, I mean, we've got a pretty good tailwind here. We've got a 7-knot tailwind here, so sort of, what can we do, you know?
That's right.
This is like totally all over the place though.
Make sure we squawk that.
Yeah. Showing that we're straight level flight here. It went all the way down to 0 at one point back there, so I was like, I think the gauge is broken, but at one point I was like, maybe we're leaking fuel.
Well, that would be not a great thing, but that's,
I mean,
we have 2 wings.
we've got enough fuel in the other tank to get us there and back, so
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it, but obviously that would be not ideal. We would, if we actually had a fuel leak, I would turn us around and go back.
Gotcha. All right, so it's going to be under 10 minutes. You know, we're only at 4 minutes. Wow. Well, we're not quite there. There's a 101 freeway down there. I'm just going to keep that off my right side.
So, show me the point you chose here on the map. Yeah, so we chose something here kind of off the coast, which is okay, but it's a little tough because it's sort of hard to like get yourself to this like point that is kind of imaginary, right? Like it's sort of a beam something, but it's hard to tell sort of like how far off the coast is this point on the map. I would generally suggest that you would be a lot better off choosing the point itself for as your reference point. Because it's kind of hard to identify a random spot in the ocean that's like maybe a mile or so off the shore. It's hard to say, you know. If you choose the coastline where the freeway intersects it, it's like, okay, we can look down and we can say, just like we did with Channel Islands, you know, college, like, okay, cool, it's right here. You know, we know very definitively where we are. This isn't bad. I don't think an examiner would dock points against you for it, but you're just making your life a little harder than it kind of has to be, right?
Yeah, and trying to get to that exact point, you're right, it's making it harder. I thought it might make it easier because I'm following the 101 off my right shoulder.
Yeah.
But you're right, I can't judge.
You can't judge how far, exactly.
It kind of throws everything off because it won't be at that point.
Yeah.
And then from there, that means the next course is going to be a little bit off.
Yeah, exactly. And again, we're primarily navigating visually here. We're primarily, looking out the window and finding points. And so, ultimately navigating your way to Santa Barbara, not that hard, right? You've got this perfect coastline that leads you all the way there. You're not going to get lost. So, it's not a big deal, but it's kind of like if you were going into somewhere really unfamiliar where it's, the middle of the country, it's like just Kernville. Flat and there's no references whatsoever. Yeah. It gets a lot harder,
Yeah. How is it flying to Kernville?
Kernville's great. I mean, Kernville is it's an interesting airport to fly into. It's quite dynamic. You've got that sort of valley that you have to kind of fly up and then make a U-turn and come back down to the airport.
I'd like to do that. Maybe in the fall or whatever. It seems like hot weather is not good.
Yeah, exactly. Hot weather, high altitude, you're going to have really poor performance and it's going to be bad news. But in the winter, I'd be happy to go up there with you and
well, I might swap you out for my fiance.
Yeah, I would recommend for certain airports, mountainous airports require a mountain flying checkout from the school.
So
like Santa Barbara, Big Bear counts, absolutely. Okay. Catalina is its own checkout, but that is kind of a mountainous airport in its own way. And anytime you're going into a complicated airport like that, it's definitely advisable to, if nothing else, at least speak with an instructor who's been there before you go.
Oh, absolutely, I would. Yeah.
If not, go there with an instructor.
All right, so we got the 101 down there. Well, now what?
That's the switch fuel tanks thing. We did it, so we're cool.
Point of approach, Cirrus 59 and Echo Hotel.
I should have brought a hat.
4,200.
No, I always
here. Standing 1,500. Oxnard is bound to land.
November 593 Echo Hotel. New approach. VFR descent, your discretion.
VFR descent, my discretion, Safe Hotel.
Star 6 Delta Golf, turn right, clear direct Fillmore.
All right, there's actually Ventura City.
Okay.
So we're just about there, and I'm kind of already pointing where the next direction says is 288.
Cool. So we'll see how close. What did you say it would be? 10 minutes or something?
10 minutes, 28 seconds.
All right, cool. So we're at just about 9 minutes now, and how close to our point do you think we are?
Well, you
99 Juliet.
see the 33?
Yep.
How close are we to the interchange?
A couple miles.
You can see the interchange, yeah?
Yeah.
A lot easier on that side.
Well, it is when your reference points are off of this side of the plane.
There it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're right there. All right, so I'll give it a few more seconds, stop the timer, restart it.
Cool. Yeah, pretty close on the time, 9:20. We had a little more ground speed than what you planned for. So yeah, it seems like pretty good calculations to me.
All right, we're gonna stop and then we're gonna start.
Okay.
Moving on to the next waypoint of the golf course.
Great.
It's also gonna be the top of our descent. And then we're supposed to be at 288.
Okay.
However, I think I'm closer to the shore than my flight path.
I wouldn't say so. I would say we're probably pretty close. We're probably right on.
Yeah, that's true. How about that?
Yeah. I'd say it looks pretty good.
Okay. Pretty soon we'll flip it over. See if I can do that one hand.
November 7978 Charlie, Magoo approach.
Okay, so once we...
Roger, it doesn't look like they sent you over here just yet, but that's okay. Altimeter 29er, 79er.
Once we get to the next point, we're going to want to start to descend. And we're going to make our way down the 101 to potentially runway 15.
Okay.
And we're going to land. Looks like that should be no problem getting out of here.
Yeah, I don't see any clouds over there. It doesn't look too bad, so...
Like this, surf cam can see
Number 3
Yeah.
Hotel, contact Oxnard Tower,
We'll
134.
check on Santa Monica. Let's see. Oh, Santa Monica's IFR now.
13495.
It's 7 minutes ago went IFR. I would turn a little bit more to the right. I think that your flight plan is aimed a little bit more in that direction.
Okay.
bear in mind that we have a little bit of a right tailwind, which is pushing us out to sea. Probably more so than what you had flight planned for. And we don't want to get too far off the coast here. That freeway is going to be your emergency landing spot if you lost your engine here. And I don't...
Oh, 1 second.
Please repeat, 47 Romeo.
Good job.
Contact Santa Barbara approach 125.4.
Santa Barbara approach 125.4, 47 Romeo.
Good. Good job catching that.
Santa Barbara, this is SportCruiser 427 Romeo at 4,500. Inbound negative 8.
SportCruiser 427 Romeo, Santa Barbara approach. Advise when you're able to get information. Mike at Santa Barbara, follow the freeway for left base, runway 15 left.
Will advise once has information. Mike, follow the freeway, runway 15 left, 427 Romeo.
Good.
Number 10 Whiskey, contact San
Nicely
Francisco
done.
Tower 124.0.
So, just as expected, they're giving us that left base for run 5 left.
Got it.
And we're going to need to get the weather.
Number 4 Delta Victor, turn your base at or above 2,000. Contact Tower 119.1.
13265.
Turn base at or above 2,000. Contact Tower 97.4. Mission Mike, time 0053 Zulu. Wind 1507, visibility 10. Sky clear, temperature 21, dew point 14. Over 99 Juliet. Traps 11 o'clock in about a mile. They're passing below you, 5,500 level. Sure. Highway.
For the traffic in the sun.
Notice there, news caution for multi.
Site 99 Juliet.
For 99 Juliet, represent traffic, view for descent at your discretion.
View for descent 99 Juliet.
There's contact Mike.
All right, so we have Mike. Cool. Let's just do it one more time.
Mission
Yeah,
Mike,
good.
time 0053 Zulu. Wind 1507, visibility 10. Sky clear, temperature 21, dew point 14, altimeter 2978. Strict visual approach runway 25, landing at departure runway 25, 15 left, 15 right. East caution for hang gliders operating north of Highway 101 in the vicinity of the San Marcos 165 radial. Notice there, been east caution for multiple transit rigs in the vicinity of Santa Barbara Airport. All departures contact clearance delivery 132.9er, all arrivals contact approach 125.4. That others contact Mike.
All right. Cool. 29er78.
Good.
Information Mike.
Santa Barbara information Mike, time 0053 Zulu. Wind 15.
All right. So we should be to the golf course in 12 minutes. Although we're a bit off course now. Santa Barbara's over there.
SportCruiser 427 Romeo, traffic coming up 2 to 3 o'clock, about a mile right over the shoreline, 4,700 descending a Cherokee.
Looking for traffic 427 Romeo, staying over the water. All right, so that's Santa Barbara sticking out there, Goleta.
Yep. You got this traffic over here. He's...
Do you see it?
Nope.
He's going to be over here. He's descending. He was at 4,700.
Yep. He's probably... Looks like... I don't see him, but he said he was along the coastline, so...
Let's get a little bit of spacing.
Yeah, I think we're good. I see it.
Got him?
Romeo, traffic southbound.
He said no factor.
No factor 27 Romeo. All right. So, I see a point. Where's that point? Oh, there's lots of points. That's Dino, probably. It's too hard to tell. There's too many points.
Yeah, so careful turning yourself directly that direction, right? Because he told us to fly a left base for the
Along the 101
freeway, right? So we want to kind of
follow it.
Plan to intercept the freeway up here so that we can fly that left base. So this sort of heading, more or less, is pretty good. But you see how it's actually quite hard to see a visual reference that's like that far away going into the sun, you know? So sometimes it's kind of like, you don't necessarily need to put it on your chart, but you want to look and be like, okay, cool, I'm going to follow this road from this reference point to the next reference point, you know?
Yeah.
Second of America traffic, 12 o'clock, about 2 miles right over the shoreline, 4,900 descending for Santa Barbara, a traffic election.
All right, got another guy over here, same altitude coming at us.
Coming. So he's converging?
Yeah.
far away, and what should we do?
I don't think we need to do anything yet. He's probably about 4 miles.
Okay. There are those platforms. Okay, so the furthest platform there,
Yep.
straight line to the coast is our point.
Okay.
See that? See those black dots?
Yep.
So that
It's kind of hard to judge what straight line is, though, right?
It's going to be over there.
SATCOM 6072, Santa Barbara.
Damn, is it hard to see.
For Mike,
Yep.
descend to maintain 6,000, expect the visual approach to runway 25. 6,000, we'll expect a visual for 25, SATCOM 672.
There's 101.
Good. Yeah, flying into the sun is kind of shitty. There's no two ways about it.
SATCOM 6072, actually tower is going to be switching over to a runway 7 operation. Expect the visual pressure runway 7, continue to descend to 6,000. Okay, down to 6,000, and you want us to switch up the arrival and go to home? SATCOM 6072, continue on the pit full arrival, and yes, you can expect the visual approach on the downwind there at home. Okay, we'll expect that 672. November 858, contact point for due approach 128.65. Turn 128.25. November 858, 128.65 on the frequency, 128.65. 128.65, thank you. November 99 Juliet, contact tower 119.7 every day. 119.7. 119.7, 99 Juliet.
Just about at the top of our descent.
Cool. What would you like to find?
Just wanted a little bit. That's fine.
SATCOM 6072, turn left heading 260, back there for the visual approach. Heading 260, 672.
All right, so are we at the top of your descent yet?
Mike is now current.
We are not.
Okay.
We are very close.
All right.
I wanted to start it just a little bit early, but we're not quite there yet. That's why I zoomed in to make sure.
All right.
About right here.
Yeah, because we are kind of descending, right? So we want to make sure that that's something that we're like being deliberate about, right?
I was a little bit. Yeah, we're at 42. I didn't want to go back to 45. There's the 101.
SATCOM 6072, advise the field site coming up 2 o'clock deep time. Field site, SATCOM 672. SATCOM 6072, enter the right downwind, turn base center above 2,000, clear for the
Alright,
visual
there's the
approach,
101.
Base center above 2,000, clear for the visual 27, SATCOM 672.
Runway's over there, over that hill.
Okay.
I can see it.
SATCOM
Good.
6072,
Start getting yourself in a
runway
position to kind of make a long
Visual approach
left
7,
base.
SATCOM 672.
And if you're at your top of your descent, then we'll plan to, that's, you know, kind of execute your intended descent of about 500 feet per minute.
RV on?
Yeah, below 4,000 RPM.
SATCOM 6072, connect tower 119.7 every day.
Inside of the
672, good night.
in the POH, like 700 feet per minute is normal?
Well, what did you plan for? You planned for 500
500
feet per minute,
No, I
right?
know, I'm just saying. Usually you plan for also 500?
Yeah, 500 is like a really nice...
427 Romeo, contact tower 119.7.
Contact tower 119.7. 47 Romeo.
700 feet per minute is a nice gentle descent that's going to keep your passengers feeling comfortable.
Cessna 909er Juliet, turn 10 degrees right for sequence.
Turn 10 degrees right, 9 altitude.
Santa Barbara Tower, SportCruiser 427 Romeo, inbound with information. Mike.
SportCruiser 427 Romeo, Santa Barbara Tower reported 2 mile left base, runway 15 left.
Runway 15 left, 427 Romeo.
Report a 2 mile left base, right?
Report 2 mile left base, 427 Romeo.
Okay.
I didn't hear the report part. All right, so now our mission is to follow the 101 freeway.
Yep.
And get into that left base.
Good.
Yep, that's what the line says. That's what he said.
Pull this for the moment. I think this will help right now.
And that was about 12 minutes. Pretty close.
Cool.
12 minutes. Next one is
Tower 380.
8 minutes.
We'll put short final and full stop. Cessna 38
Cool.
Sierra.
So, can you see the airport?
Right, clear to land
I do see the airport. It's
Cool.
hazy, but it's there.
Yeah. Can you see the freeway?
I do see the freeway.
Okay, cool. So make sure you kind of follow that. It sort of goes at an angle here and then kind of goes out that way.
You're gonna go out that over that little terrain.
Yeah, it goes a little more to the right. I would kind of set yourself up a little more to the right so that if he has somebody departing off of runway 7, which is kind of coming straight at us, we're not in the way of that.
Gotcha. So there's downtown Santa Barbara right there.
Cool.
The freeway goes in and comes out. I'm following it on the coming out part.
All right,
we go
cool.
around this corner, and then I see the runways up there.
Great.
We're gonna make a left base, put it on the ground.
Sounds good.
Now, we won't be a beam, so we're gonna have to,
What do you mean, a beam?
we're not gonna like pull up alongside the runway.
Right.
Do our landing checklist.
Yep. You're gonna have to.
Switch and bump it.
Yep. You're gonna have to decide where you need to start doing that based on the distance that you have to the runway, right? You're not gonna really have a downwind to base turn to be able to judge your descent distance. So you have to just decide at what point on this extended base that we're on, you're gonna start that descent down to the runway, right?
That's right. Yeah, I would imagine, because
Cessna 909er Juliet, turn additional 20 degrees right for traffic landing crossing runway prior citation.
we're at runway
20 degrees right, 9 altitude.
which is a TPA of 1,000.
Okay.
So we're gonna stop descending at 1,000,
All right. Sounds good.
and then as we get within the distance that we can see it, we'll add the flaps.
Yeah. When we're cleared to land and when we've decided that it's the appropriate time to do so.
Sarah, turn right at Mike, contact ground point 7.
Turn right on Mike, we'll contact ground 30.
All right. Where would you go if you lost your engine right now?
Resume normal pattern, runway 15 left.
I would the freeway, or there's a big field, right? Huge field
on
down
our
there.
2.5 mile final now.
How crowded is that freeway? I can't see it. So.
No, not much traffic below us, but there's a really big freeway down there.
Okay.
I mean, not freeway. You see that big field?
No, but that's okay.
All right. Runway's up there. We're at 1,700 feet. We're still descending at 500 feet per minute.
Cool.
Gauges are looking good.
Good. How about a descent checklist?
Descent checklist would be appropriate. So we are descending. We're pitching. Set for descent rate, which is 500 feet per minute. Constant airspeed, carb heat on, landing light on within 10 miles of the airport. We never turned it on.
Okay. Cool.
And 101 freeway is dead in front of us.
Yeah.
And we're at 1,400 feet.
Cool. So here we are. We're about 5 miles to the airport, I'd say. Maybe.
Juliet is going off.
That's the 5 mile line.
909er Juliet.
We're 5 miles, 4.5 miles from the airport.
6072, trap further.
We're 1,300 feet.
No factor.
MSL, I would say you should level off here. I would say don't descend this far out from the airport. There's no reason for us to be at traffic pattern altitude. That's just, we're just setting ourselves up for a bad situation, right? So let's level off here. And if we're leveling off, what do we got to do? Good, yeah, good.
Cessna 909er Juliet, same tension.
And also,
Full stop.
is this a left base? I mean, look at like where we are relative to the. We're kind of flying at the threshold, right? We're not really on a left base. We need to turn right.
Close traffic. Change to runway 15
So
right.
take a look. Look at this. We're flying straight towards that threshold, right? Is that a left base? Left base should be out here, right?
Right.
So let's make a right turn.
We're a
Let's
little bit
get our.
south of the runway.
Yeah.
Of the freeway.
Yeah. Let's make a right turn. The freeway is a reference point for us, but it's not the end-all be-all. We have to be looking at that runway, which I know is hard because you can't really see it.
I can't really. I see it now, but it's.
Yeah.
Turn right at
We have to be looking at that runway and deciding where we need to be.
I see the big one straight in front of us, but as far as the intersecting one, it's oh, okay, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Oh man, it's hard to see, but it is there. Yeah, we got to get out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were not over the freeway. We were over another street.
Yep. Not really on a left base, right? Good. Now we're kind of positioning ourselves for a left base, and we can start going back down to our TPA. Cool.
SportCruiser 427 Romeo, traffic will be opposing base for the parallel runway. Assessment, runway 15 left, clear to land.
Runway 15 left, clear to land. Traffic 427 Romeo.
Cessna 909er Juliet, traffic opposing base for the parallel runway. Is a SportCruiser, runway 15 right, clear to land.
Flaps in.
Clear to land.
Pull it. Switch it. Bump it is there.
Cool. Starting to look a little better, right? Starting to look a little bit more like what we would expect to see on a left base. We want to make every pattern feel as familiar as possible. Still, I would say probably a little bit tight to the airport and a little bit high. So why don't you give yourself a little more space, widen it out. Good.
Just can't see the terrain very well.
Yeah, we're okay. Cool. Can you see the runway?
It's really thin.
Yeah. See that little black stripe? That's just the small one right there?
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the runway.
Okay.
But there's two parallel ones, so we're going to make sure that we're lining ourselves up for the left.
Okay. I see it.
Cool. All right. You can kind of get yourself on a base now if you want. Good.
Okay. 15L.
Yeah. You see it?
Yeah.
Good. There you go.
All right. Now this feels more normal.
Good. So you see how critical it is when they tell you to fly a left base, that you kind of actually are able to assess the terrain and figure out where that left base is. I got that traffic for the parallel in sight. He's just crossing over the threshold now, no factor.
Cessna 909er Juliet, safe parking.
I would like taxi back to active 900.
Cessna 909er Juliet, turn right at Mike, contact ground 121.7.
Right at Mike and come on to 1.7 manager.
Nice flying. Looking great. Beautiful approach.
For information, there's
Really, really nice approach.
Goose on the runway, 15 right.
Roger, about how far down is it?
Probably another 100 feet off of the intersection with Mike.
909er Juliet, roger.
Could you have held that a little bit longer?
Could have.
Yeah.
Now this is weird crossing a runway. They didn't say anything about it.
Yep, you're cleared to land, you're good to do it. They didn't give you a land and hold short.
It's weird. It's a narrower runway.
Yep.
So there was a depth perception difference there.
Yep. You notice how you think you're a little higher.
427 Romeo, safe parking.
Tell me when I taxi back for departure.
Taxi back for departure, 47 Romeo.
SportCruiser 27 Romeo, turn left at Kilo, contact ground point 7.
Turn left at Kilo, contact ground, 47 Romeo. Is it 0.7?
Ground 0.7.
What does that mean?
Usually departure, the ground
101.
frequency is
0.7 is what I have in my speed. Gotta cross.
Yep. Get yourself off the runway.
Hey, this is my first Charlie. It wasn't too bad. Okay, 121.
Usually ground is like 121 point something, so they might say ground 0.7. 121.7. So
Taxi to 215L.
So tell them that we want to taxi to. Let's actually. What was the wind?
It's pretty light.
Let's take a look. Let's see. 140. Yeah. Okay. Tell them taxi for 50.
99 Juliet, cross runway 7 at Mike.
Tell me like to taxi to the 15 left run-up area.
Santa Barbara ground, this is SportCruiser 427 Romeo. Request taxi to runway 15L, run-up area.
427 Romeo, Santa Barbara ground, runway 15 left, taxi via Bravo, cross runway 7.
Taxi via Bravo, cross runway 7, 215L, left, 427 Romeo.
Cool. So he said taxi via Bravo,
Yep.
cross runway 7,
Yep.
right? So he gave us clearance You know, you said it. He gave us clearance to taxi onto a runway, right?
So is that's the gutter?
Yeah, yeah. So this is the taxiway here. So this is taxiway Bravo.
Should we go to the run-up area or hold short of 155?
Alaskan Airlines. You know, my parents are going to land here for my wedding.
Cool. Okay, so he told us taxi via Bravo.
Cross runway 7.
Right on Charlie, hold short of runway 15, right.
Yeah, 7 is the opposite.
Charlie,
Right?
hold short 155.
So he told us taxi Bravo,
Julie,
cross runway 7.
Instructions.
So cross runway 7 means we are cleared to cross runway 7. He might have said taxi and hold short of runway 7, meaning that we would not be allowed to enter the runway.
We are holding short of 155 and ready to copy.
We would have to
That we would hold short right here.
Juliet, you can expect
Yes,
runway 15
exactly.
right. On departure, fly runway heading.
But always
Maintain
check.
VFR at or below 1,500.
So
Departure frequency.
I want to be really clear about that. That's super important. He might say cross runway 7, or he might say hold short runway 7.
Big difference.
And it's a big difference. Sometimes at some airports, the ground controller will not clear you to cross the runway. They will tell you to taxi Bravo, hold short of runway 7, and contact tower for clearance across the runway. You would then call the tower, you would say holding short of runway 7 at Bravo, request taxi across, and they would tell you taxi across, and then contact ground on the other side. And you would contact ground again on the other side to request further taxi to wherever you're going.
Did you want to check the fuel?
Just advise.
No, I think we're okay.
Future departure request when you're able.
You said advise.
Yeah, we're gonna pull in here and we'll do it.
So over here?
Yep.
So just say.
27 Romeo will advise.
That's what I was. So this is our run-up area?
Yeah.
So you want to run up again before the?
No, but I want to discuss I want to discuss something here.
Okay.
So you
where
can
do
just,
I need to?
you can just pull over right over here. Just flip it around.
Do I need to go around?
Nah, that's fine. Just flip it around right here, and we'll discuss what we're doing.
Oh, it's really shaded.
Yeah. Why don't you just flip us around really quick? That way we can at least see if there's another plane or something coming. Okay. All right. So go ahead and stop here. And I'm just going to talk to them really quickly. And Santa Barbara ground. Are you guys running clearance delivery today?
Number 27 Romeo, I'm working both frequencies. You can just advise me.
Okay, I'm going to have my student call you as if you are clearance delivery, just for practice purposes here.
Number 27 Romeo, roger.
Okay, so at a Class Charlie airport or a Class Bravo airport, you can't just taxi, you can't just like start up and launch the way we can at Santa Monica. You have to call clearance delivery in order to get permission to, you're essentially getting a squawk code and you're setting yourself up with flight following before you call ground. So, in this case, clearance delivery has their own frequency, the guy right now said that he's working both, so it doesn't matter, but I'm going to have you call him as clearance delivery. So normally we would tune in the clearance delivery frequency, and you would say something like Santa Barbara clearance delivery, SportCruiser 427 Romeo, and you'd basically make a VFR request. You know, you'd say, we'd like to go to Santa Monica at 4,500, and we are a SportCruiser, you know, Charlie Romeo uniform Zulu, you know,
Well,
cruise.
Romeo.
Cruise being CRUZ, the aircraft type.
Oh, Charlie, Romeo, uniform,
Zulu, yeah, exactly. Because that's our equipment type. That's what our aircraft
So you would be
code is.
clearance delivery, SportCruiser. Oh, you would say cruise, right?
You can say SportCruiser 427 Romeo.
Clearance delivery, SportCruiser 427 Romeo. Request clearance to Santa Monica at 4,500.
Yeah, request VFR to Santa Monica.
Request VFR to Santa Monica at 4,500.
Yes, exactly. And if they ask you for your aircraft type, your aircraft, then
Charlie, Romeo,
uniform
Zulu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. You want to give it a shot?
So, Santa Barbara clearance?
Santa Barbara clearance delivery. Yeah.
Clearance delivery. Santa Barbara clearance delivery. SportCruiser 427 Romeo. Request VFR to Santa Monica at 4,500.
Yep, and be prepared. They're going to give you a squawk code and a departure frequency. And they also might give you departure instructions. They might say, on departure, fly heading, blah, 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 maintain X altitude. So be prepared to copy it all down.
Santa Barbara clearance delivery, SportCruiser 427 Romeo, request VFR flight to Santa Monica at 4,500.
Santa 427 Romeo, Santa Barbara clearance to Roger, and for direction of flight, did you want 5,500 or 3,500?
Yeah, you want 5,500?
5,500, 427 Romeo.
Yeah, we're going the other direction. It's got to be. Yeah.
Number 27 Romeo, you can expect runway 15 left on departure, by runway heading. Maintain VFR at or below 1,500. Departure frequency 125.4 and squawk 4666.
Barbara ground, Skyhawk 174 Golf Foxtrot at self-serve pump 2 signature parking.
Fly runway heading at or below 1,500.
Yeah.
Let them deal with her, and then you can do your rebit.
666?
All right, go for your reback.
Just we need to address them again.
Yep, you.
Santa Barbara clearance delivery, SportCruiser 427 Romeo, departing runway 15 left, fly runway heading at or below 1,500, frequency 125.4, squawk 4666.
Number 27 Romeo, reback is correct, and information November's current.
Information November current, 47 Romeo.
Number 174 Golf Foxtrot.
All right, so now why don't you grab the new weather?
Via Charlie, hold short, and 15 right.
Taxi via Charlie, hold short, runway 15 right, 174 Golf Foxtrot.
015 Zulu, wind 110 at 5, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 19, dew point 15, altimeter 2978, visual approach runway 7 in use, and then departing runway 7, 15 left and 15 right. Status airman, use caution for multiple.
All right, so now you can call him back and tell him that you've got information November. Request taxi to 15 left.
Is he still clearance delivery?
No, he's now ground. You would contact ground now. Once they said reback correct, you're done with them. You can contact ground.
Santa Barbara ground, SportCruiser 427 Romeo with information November, request taxi to runway 15 left.
427 Romeo, Santa Barbara ground, runway 15 left, taxi via Charlie.
Runway 15 left, taxi via Charlie 427 Romeo.
Cool. All right.
Here's yours. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, this is.
I know I have.
Yep.
On the go.
Alrighty, rock and roll.
Hard to see.
Yep. So the
Charlie's
runway,
up there.
we're on Charlie. This is the whole short bars that are flashing right there in front of us. See them?
Yeah, because you can't go any further.
Yep.
There's the grass. By the way, it's different experience having your grass versus what we have, like a displaced threshold, some kind of.
We don't have a displaced threshold. No.
What do they call that?
It's just there's just nothing there. It's just.
Well, there's like there's some concrete and some.
Sort of like a blast pad kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the hold.
Just short, right.
Okay. Cool. All right. Get yourself ready for takeoff.
All right. Holding short checklist. Can it be locked and secure? Flaps. Being in this, we didn't do the aircraft.
No, we didn't.
Well, follow the clear runway checklist. All right.
Checklist.
Okay, so let's get our. What does it say? Nav error.
That's autopilot error, but that's because it's turned off.
Are you gonna teach me that one day?
Not in this plane. It's broken. But yeah, if we have a plane that has a working autopilot, I'll teach it to you. I've never used the autopilot in SportCruiser, if I'm being honest.
All right, trim set. CHT is white. We're totally good there. Now we can contact Santa Barbara Tower on 119.7.
Okay.
That's right. 121. 119.7. So.
Good. Get your departure frequency put into your standby because you're going to need that right after departure, right? Gave it to you.
125.
SportCruiser 427 Romeo, Santa Barbara Tower, you ready to go?
Just about 27 Romeo.
Okay, so Santa Barbara Tower, 47 Romeo, holding short at
15 left. 15 left to Charlie.
holding short at 1 left Charlie.
Yep.
Request just left turn to
Left, yeah. Request departure. He knows what you want.
Wingspan 25, Santa Barbara Tower, runway 7, clear to land when 120 at 5, traffic departing crossing runway prior SportCruiser.
Roger, we'll report traffic inside and clear land, runway 7, wingspan 35.
Santa Barbara Tower, SportCruiser 427 Romeo, holding short, Charlie, runway 15L, request departure.
15 left.
Number 427 Romeo, Santa Barbara Tower, make a left crosswind, runway 15 left, clear for takeoff.
Make left crosswind, runway 15 left, clear for takeoff, 47 Romeo.
left
Cessna 8 X-ray, extend downwind, tower calls base.
All right, landing light on,
lining,
fuel pump on,
crossing runway
flaps up
prior
to 10
Florida.
degrees.
Good.
Car beats in. Nobody's coming to land on top of us.
Good.
We don't need this anymore.
Okay.
Left crosswind is coming up.
Good.
A little bit up. Let's go. Go up.
Yep.
Good, so we need to get straight. Get our feet on the board. Well, this is weird. We're taking off over our own runway. Alright. We're still over the runway. We need to get our right rudder in there. We're at 65. Our flaps are still in because we're not clear. We're going to come up here and make a left crosswind. And we're at full power, 65. Temperatures and pressures. We need to, we're doing our building.
Yeah, this thing is totally wonky.
Alright, clear the runway. Flaps going up to 0.
Good.
And it's looking like a beautiful night to fly in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
What about Santa Monica?
Santa Monica went back to marginal. I looked on the ground.
Okay.
So that's good news. I think that... Oh, now it's
SportCruiser 27
IFR.
Romeo, resume on navigation, cancel altitude restriction.
Resume on navigation, cancel instruction, 47 Romeo.
So we
Cancel altitude restriction.
Cancel altitude restriction, 47 Romeo.
Cool. All right, so you can make your left crosswind. You got 700 feet.
All right, just barely.
So at this airport...
SportCruiser 27 Romeo, contact departure 125.4.
Contact departure 125.4, 47 Romeo. Santa Barbara departure, SportCruiser 427 Romeo at 850, climbing to 5,500.
Number 427 Romeo, Santa Barbara departure, radar contact.
Alright.
So at this airport, when you're departing off of 15, left or right, not L or R, left or right, they will typically tell you to fly runway heading and remain VFR at or below 1,500. That is the standard departure for those runways here. And you have to be prepared to do that. In this case, they immediately gave us an own navigation because they don't have any traffic doing anything else. But it's very typical for them to send you way the f out there at 1,500 feet, just flying runway heading. So be prepared to do that on your solo cross country.
So he said fly runway heading at or below 1,500.
That was his instruction. Yep.
But he also said left crosswind.
So the clearance delivery controller told you.
Right now he said we can ignore the altitude restriction and we're good to fly.
Yeah. So clearance delivery gave you the instruction of fly runway heading at or below 1,500. The tower overrode part of that by saying make a left crosswind departure, but he didn't tell you anything about the altitude. So that means you're still restricted at or below 1,500 on that left crosswind departure. Then when we got in the air, he said resume own nav altitude, at your discretion. So that meant he's canceling all previous instructions and we can do whatever we want. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes, because he said cancel altitude restriction.
Yes,
I just
exactly.
couldn't understand. The word altitude didn't come through clearly.
Yeah, that's okay. The important thing is not necessarily missing that. It's just making sure that you understand that
You have to stay low.
you have to. If they tell you fly runway heading, and at or below 1,500, you have to make sure that you do that and that you follow that instruction.
Okay, and then when can you go higher?
When they tell you, you can go higher.
Oh, they will instruct you to.
They will instruct you to.
Okay.
You either have to be out of their airspace, or they've got to release that to you. Because we're at a Class Charlie airport here, right?
Yeah, we are.
So that's why we have to contact clearance delivery, because there is airspace here that we have to be on. We have to be talking to someone to enter that airspace, just like with a Bravo airport. And so that's why we have to call clearance delivery beforehand and get that flight following set up on the ground. It's kind of, calling clearance delivery is basically no different than calling ground with a VFR request. It just is two different controllers because there's too much workload for one guy to handle it all. That's all it is. That's all that's happening. It's nothing different than that. You're just getting flight following on the ground. That's all you're doing. Cool, so we can follow the coastline back, and when we get to altitude, I'll show you a little bit about how this guy works and how to use this.
Sweet.
But we can basically just follow the coastline home, and hopefully it'll be VFR when we get there. No promises. Showing 800 broken right now, 15 minutes ago. Yeah. I'm gonna text some people and see what the situation looks like.
Were you texting me in the air on Monday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Usually get pretty good service in the air, honestly.
Huh. My free dinner dessert was very good. And these squeezes are perfect for flying.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Got Santa Barbara right below us, super pretty. Yeah, it'd be cool if, once I get my license to fly my fiance to the airport that's right by our venue.
Yeah, there you go.
Santa Ynez.
Yeah.
That was our own building.
Santa Ynez is a great airport.
And then we can Uber from there for get lunch or something.
Yeah, they have a crew car you can just borrow.
You mentioned that before, but that's still the case?
Yeah, it seemed like it. It wasn't there when we got there, but the guy seemed like, he was like, oh, let me see if it's here, so. I guess, typically they have it.
So not a big difference, Class Charlie versus Class Delta, except for that clearance delivery part.
Clearance delivery.
And it was a little bit weird to see commercial airliners right there. And also, just a different runway, just, you know, like L is left instead of L.
Yeah, I mean, but you could find a left and right at a Class Delta airport too.
I know, that wasn't what I meant. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, just highlighting the differences between Santa Monica
Gotcha.
and that airport. But you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
November 99 Julie,
It's
128.65.
128.659,
it's pretty typical to find airports that have left and right runways. Some airports even have a center, which would be C.
Yeah. But so it didn't have a holding short designation area for 15L?
Yeah, they
15
did.
left?
What do you mean the holding short designation
Well, I was
area?
looking for like a Charlie 3 or Charlie 6.
Yeah, we were at Charlie.
But where was the number?
Because there is no number. That's Charlie 3 is just the name of a taxiway.
Right.
Santa Monica Airport calls it Bravo 5. That's just the name of a runway. They could call it Zulu. They could call it Sierra.
no,
they could call it whatever. So there's no. So we were holding short of 15 left at Charlie.
At Charlie.
November 686 Charlie Alpha.
When we get back, let's take a look at the airport diagram and discuss that.
Oh, you can just take a look here, can't you?
Yeah, we could.
Number 6 Charlie Alpha, scan other approach. ILS for runway 76 Charlie Alpha. Number 6 Charlie Alpha, depart flying heading 280, vector ILS runway 75 approach. Depart flying at 280, ILS for 76 Charlie Alpha.
Okay, there's your Charlie.
Yep. So we're taxiway Charlie just curves and goes into 15 left. So we were holding short right there.
What are those circles?
Those are hotspots. Those are like areas that the FAA says it's easy to screw this up while taxiing, so be aware.
Approach Archer 442.
So we took taxiway Charlie here.
November
We took taxiway Bravo. We crossed runway 17, which is 25/7, and then we curved and we got Charlie, which runs like this.
Oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
At Charlie. Yeah, okay.
15 left at Charlie, so that's what
That
we
makes
did.
sense. I didn't realize that that was a taxiway perpendicular.
442 Charlie Alpha, Santa Barbara.
I thought it was running along it, and I was like, well, why isn't it indicating where?
Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes it curves, the taxiway just curves into the runway at the end. Like Van Nuys, that's how it goes. The taxiway just curves into the runway.
Number 2 Charlie Alpha, roger, depart plane, heading 280, vector ILS, runway 7, final approach course. 280, runway for those vectors, 2 Charlie Alpha.
Oil's warming up. Just,
Yeah, I don't have my right screen. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we can just let it cool for a sec.
Santa Barbara approach, 623 Alpha, level 6,000. November 6238 Alpha, Santa Barbara approach, Santa Barbara altimeter 2977.
So
2977, 63 Alpha. November 38 Alpha, stay in tension.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, I believe.
That'll be a full stop landing in
So if my hat says Rincon, you see that?
Number 38 Alpha.
I believe it's that triangular point. There's a pier down there, and just past that, the triangular point.
Ah, cool.
Pretty sure that's it. I'll know when we pass it.
All right, cool.
World famous surf spot.
Ah, nice.
Santa Barbara approach, Surf Skies 53 Alpha. We'll take the RN after runway 7 if possible, 63 Alpha. November 38 Alpha, depart flying heading 280, vector RNF runway 7 final approach course, verified November. We have November, and can you say the course again? November 38 Alpha, depart flying heading 280. Depart Quang heading 280.
Taxi back yet?
No, I actually didn't call me. We can call the ATIS.
November 27 Romeo, contact Magoo approach 128.65.
Contact Magoo approach 128.6. Good day, we're December Romeo.
November 27 Romeo 128.65.
128.65. 47 Romeo.
Magoo approach, be a part of at your discretion.
Magoo approach, SoCal, SportCruiser 427 Romeo at 4,300, climbing to 4,500.
Trying to climb. We have some oil.
November 427 Romeo checking in?
Affirmative, 47 Romeo.
November 427 Romeo, Magoo approach, altimeter 2979.
29er, 47 Romeo.
So we need to get a little more altitude, but our oil needs to chill out. And
Yeah.
I just know when we were talking, I saw the yellow tack.
Yeah, that's just because we were kind of in a descent and we had the power up, and that's why we were at sort of full power in a bit of a descent. So I think if you go ahead and climb those last 200 feet now, we'll probably be fine.
Yeah. When you fly the SportCruiser, anyone ever tell you you smell like gasoline in it or something?
Do you smell the fuel?
27 Romeo, start looking for traffic, 12 o'clock in 8 miles, 6,000 westbound, Skyhawk.
Looking for traffic, 47 Romeo.
Okay, so he's coming straight at us at 6,000.
6 miles is quite a lot.
Okay.
But let's keep an eye out for
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna pull my.
My ADSP is switching between showing him at 6,000 and showing him at 5,500, so we'll see which it actually turns out to be.
All right, so we're leveling off.
Cool. How about the cruise?
I was just gonna do
Good.
it.
Good.
I was just getting one more. You get some good looks over there.
Yeah.
Rincon. Cruise checklist. Power less than 5,000 RPM. Check. Chamber lead control pressures. Working on that. Pitch for airspeed. No. Fuel pump off. Keep it on. Monitor temperatures and pressures. And we're right at altitude. Pressures and temperatures looking good. Well, temperatures starting to go down.
Good.
We're okay.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, that is it. So I had an incident on January 2nd. You see how it sweeps down like this?
Yeah.
So I got caught by the current, got pushed away along the 101 freeway.
Wow.
Had to climb the rock wall there.
27 Romeo, 12 to 1 o'clock in 5 miles, westbound, 6,000.
Looking for traffic, 47 Romeo.
And I fell on those rocks and really hurt my back, and I was out for a few weeks. And it hurt like excruciatingly pain for a week. And then I came back and surfed it 2 weeks after it happened. Felt better. Or surfed it a month later.
Let's
What are you
see.
thinking?
I'm looking for this guy.
What does he say on ATSB?
Says he's 6,000 feet.
3 Sierra Papa, contact
Coming at us.
128.2.
So a 500-foot difference, we're going to see that.
Yeah, 500 feet's not a lot. I wouldn't count on that. 500 feet's close enough that...
So what would you recommend? Reducing our altitude?
Well, in this case, I would say...
Number 27 Romeo, 1 o'clock in 3 miles down, 6,000.
Looking for traffic, 47 Romeo.
Well, he's
I would say what I would do, since he's like 1 o'clock, is like I would make a little left turn. To kind of give myself a little bit more lateral distance, and then just keep scanning for that traffic.
999 Juliet, we'd like to do the VOR Alpha process approaches through Van Nuys if you'd like to crossing with SoCal.
That's pretty.
And number 99 Juliet, that request is going to be with the nose controller. Thanks. And number 27 Romeo, passing off your right side now in a mile.
Looking for traffic, 47 Romeo.
Wow, really can't see anything today, huh? No contact whatsoever. He's over here somewhere. Oh, I got him. He's behind us, no factor. That little right turn helped.
Did he look pretty in line with us?
I mean, he did initially. Now,
Number 27 Romeo, traffic no longer factor.
No factor, 47 Romeo.
That's pretty cool. That lake could shoot.
don't know.
No, I can't be. We're too far away. That's like the closest hotel to the venue in San Ynez, the Shumash Casino.
Oh, Lake Shumash is way back. I know where that is. That's way back up by San Ynez.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That's like Ojai out there.
That's, I think it's a reservoir. Ojai's, yeah, that's Ojai, the valley over there.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
All right, so the bad news is Santa Monica is fully socked in. And I think we're gonna end up going to Van Nuys and Ubering.
Wow.
I mean, we can try and go to Santa Monica and see how it looks and see what we can do. But it's reporting IFR in here. Go ahead and go down to 3,000 feet.
Maintaining VFR.
Number 5 Juliet Sierra, thank you.
Okay, so clear of this terrain or that terrain?
Yeah, once we're sort of like over the 405 there, which is just on the other side of these hills.
San Romeo, we're currently trying to cut an ATIS here. We're about to go VFR. We're just going to go scattered at 800.
Copy that. Thank you, Tower 47 Romeo.
Cool.
Well, that's got
I'm probably also going to request a special VFR clearance so that we can kind of get closer to the clouds than we might otherwise be able to.
Look at that beautiful
Helicopter 5 Juliet Sierra, traffic, helicopter 12
I think we might get
to
lucky
11
here.
o'clock in about a mile, 300.
This is why I wanted to come check it out.
Juliet Sierra.
Santa Monica Tower, Coast Guard.
All right, why don't we go down to 3,000 feet?
Coast Guard 6533, thank you.
Good 4-5.
Yep.
Santa Monica Tower,
I mean, so there's Getty right there.
Yeah.
Bearing 68 Bravo Bravo, Santa Monica Tower, runway 21, clear to land, wind 240 at 5.
So I think what I'm going to have you do is kind of extend out that way, and then we'll do a sort of long approach and get under the clouds and go into the airport that way.
Santa Monica Tower, helicopter TV9er is Blue Elm for a west transition. Work over to Santa Monica.
Potential aircraft information Foxtrot is now current, wind 2406, altimeter 2980. The field is VFR, scattered 800, runway 21 in use, Foxtrot.
Let's
Nice.
go.
TV9er, Santa Monica Tower, Santa Monica altimeter 2980,
going down?
approved as requested.
No, you can hold it here for a sec.
Flight Sport 2 San Romeo, maintain present heading for now, and then I'll get you on a right base over UCLA.
Excellent. Maintain present heading. 47 Romeo.
We're gonna get home.
Yeah, I think we might.
Well, it's a beautiful night. Man, it's pretty out here.
Yeah.
There's the Van Nuys runways right there, so that's our safe spot. We need
Yep.
to.
If we need to, that's our plan B. If you feel like you need to go around on this landing, let me know.
Because you will finish it.
Call it out, and we'll decide if that's what we're going to do or not really quick.
Yeah, we won't. You can just take over and put it around.
Yeah.
Santa Monica Tower 427 Romeo. Looks like this approach should be no problem for us, but we might want a special VFR clearance just to be able to get a little closer to those clouds as we're coming in.
Flight Sport 2 San Romeo, roger that. If you do want a special VFR, remain outside the Delta now. I do have an IFR aircraft just entering the Delta.
Okay, we got him on ADSB, and we're just maintaining present heading, and we'll just continue on this until you advise. 27 Romeo.
I'm gonna
Very good.
make it just outside of us here.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna level off for now.
Copter 5 Juliet Sierra, frequency change approved.
5 Juliet Sierra, thank you, sir.
Flight Sport 2 San Romeo, cleared into the Class Delta service area from the north of Santa Monica Airport. Maintain special VFR conditions at or below 2,000. Your number 2 following a Baron, a Beam, Century City, wind 2305, runway 21, cleared to land.
That's a
Clear to land runway 21, special VFR approved.
Clear to land runway 21, special VFR approved, 47 Romeo.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and start a descent. And really start that descent for me, because we're going to get under these clouds. Go ahead and fly this heading. And why don't you go ahead and dump in 10 degrees of flaps if you can. Add a little back pressure first and slow us down. And then dump in some flaps.
Santa Monica, Baron 68 Bravo Bravo, I have the runway 5.
Baron 8 Bravo Bravo, very good. Cleared to visual approach, runway 21.
Cleared visual 218 Bravo Bravo.
time?
All right, we're headed. We are descending.
Yeah. Keep that descent coming. We're gonna have to get below these clouds here. But now your standard cloud clearance requirements no longer apply. All we have to do is stay out of these clouds. You do not have to remain away from them the standard distance. Do you see the airport out there? You can see the beacon.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, good. Why don't you go ahead and turn so we can go between these two little pockets of clouds here?
Okay.
So a special VFR clearance basically means that it's kind of a hybrid between IFR and VFR. It means that we still have to fly VFR. We still have to, yeah, just ignore it. We still have to maintain VFR. We can't go into the clouds, but it eliminates our requirement to maintain a certain distance from the clouds. Okay, can you see the runway?
See the runway.
Good.
We have a clear shot.
Good. Keep flying towards that. Give me a normal, nice landing, just like that.
Okay. All right, we go ahead and do our landing checklist. So we're slow it, pull it, switch it, swap it's already done.
Good. Now you're getting pretty low on power here, and we're getting a little bit low, so yeah, good. I know it's kind of hard to see the runway, but just do the best you can with it.
Bearing 8 Bravo Bravo, left turn intersection, taxi to park via Bravo this frequency.
Okay, left turn
Happy is
Bravo
not in
3
service.
and
Yep.
parking at southeast hangars via Bravo.
A little bit of back pressure, getting a little bit low.
TV9er traffic, 12 o'clock, 2 miles, they're over the shoreline, Coast Guard helicopter 300 indicated.
Traffic in sight, TV9er, visual separation.
A little bit more back pressure. You probably don't need that much power, but just back pressure, just level us off for a minute.
Pier 1100 indicated.
In sight, we'll be just offshore of them, circling just north of the Marine Delray Harbor, 300 below.
Very good.
We're gonna make it.
I think we are. Cool. Normal landing from here. You're gonna sink like a brick with this low of power. Really cleared up all of a sudden. Hold it. Keep flying the plane, Cory. You're paying by the second. Get every second of it out of the plane.
Yeah, you got it. Where'd the clouds go?
I know, right?
Okay. It was an interesting transition because we're trying to get under and then we're far
Yep.
away and then
An interesting approach. Good experience to have.
Yeah, we were too low. Then
Light 27 Romeo, left turn intersection, taxi to Santa Monica Flyers via Bravo this frequency.
Left turn at the intersection, Talk to Santa Monica Ground, this frequency, 427 Romeo.
Nope, taxi Santa Monica Flyers.
Taxi Santa Monica Flyers, 427 Romeo.
That's a lot of, this is a weird thing. What did you just do?
He said taxi Santa Monica Flyers via Bravo, remain this frequency. Thanks for your help on that, SVFR clearance, appreciate it.
No problem, yeah, I was just waiting for the clouds to dissipate a little bit and then we can get you in behind them.
Yeah, they really cleared up nicely. I'm happy to be here and not in Van Nuys right now.
Too bad over there.
That makes two of us.
What a night, huh?
Yeah, look at that. It went from being overcast to being clear in like 10 minutes.
That was a good move.
Timing worked out well.
Yeah, especially for lighting,
Yeah.
clouds.
Yep. What time is it? It's like
8:17.
yeah, it's perfect. I think end of civil twilight is 8:36 today. So that's I mean, you can see, you know, it's like, okay, the sun has gone down, but there's still like a fair amount of light until end of civil twilight, and then after the end of civil twilight, it's pretty damn dark. So, but the rule is, it's not like you got to land by the end of civil twilight. Like, you have to be shut down by the end of civil twilight. Yeah.
Happy.
I'm happy that we're here, man. Oh.
Did we get it? Oh, we got some of it. Oh no, yeah, it's still recording actually. Oh yeah. Good stuff here. All right, that's cool.
Dude,
Sweet.
happy